Good morning, legends. Happy Wednesday. Hope you had an amazing trading day yesterday. We're going to get into the price action for yesterday, have a look at what we think is going on moving forward. We're going to zoom out a little bit on this video today to get a bit of a better picture of what's going on the higher time frames. And if there's time left over, we'll take a look at ETH as well. And of course, the general market. So if you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Big shout out to the TTC tribe. Absolutely killing it in the Discord right now. Whether you're still learning or still trading, that knowledge is increasing every day. And that's what we have to do. We have to fall in love with the skill before the money comes. We can't fall in love with the money first. So before we get into today's video, just wanted to shout out to my favorite exchange, OKX. I love this exchange because you can spot trade, leverage trade, you can coin margin trade. They have earn features. They have everything you need in the one platform. So if you're looking for an exchange to trade on, be sure to grab the link in the description down below. You do get 15% discount on trading fees with that link, as well as up to $500 in sign-up bonuses. Now let's take a look at this drawing that we have on the chart right here. This here is from yesterday's video. So if you haven't seen it or you didn't catch it yesterday, be sure to go back and watch it for my full thoughts on what was going on there. But what we can see now that that has played out is that we got exactly what we were expecting. Price did come back into this zone here where we had wicked to once before, and was at that point we were either going to get a bounce or we would break through to the next low. That's when you turn to the candlesticks to make your decision. So we ended up bouncing out of that position and we came back into the sell zone, which was marked from the trading light orders that also happened to line up with this candle right here. So this move to the upside did recover basically this entire market maker candle. When you move to the next level, you can see that there really wasn't much left to recover. Now this push up was a pre-news event, and that pre-news event was this here, the consumer confidence report. As soon as that came out, that's when we started to see this sell-off. This sell-off gave us a perfect M formation once this candle had been recovered. So there were two trade opportunities out of yesterday's move. Number one was the bounce out of this zone here for a long position. You can clearly see the rejection of the 800 EMA there, and there are a number of wicks into that EMA as well, in addition to recovering this entire candle. This M formation formed also over a multi-session. So the UK session into the US session. When you get a multi-session M or W, that has a high probability of playing out. So we literally got a bag flip opportunity last night. And that is why I want to reset today, because what stage of the cycle are we in right now? Let's take a look at the 1 hour time frame. Now what we want to do is find either a peak formation high or a peak formation low. We want to start from there. So we can clearly see this was the peak formation high. From here, can we find 3 level drops? Yes, we can. This is one here, this is one here, and this is one here. So now we reset. This doesn't automatically mean price is going up from here. What this means is that we are now in a board meeting. What happens in the board meeting? That is where the market maker reassesses the positions, sizes up where everybody has open positions currently, where the liquidity is, and they decide to make their next move. In the board meeting, they will trigger an emotion out of retail traders. They do that by spiking price up above the consolidation and also spiking it down low. This is trying to trigger you to commit to a trade. It is at this point in time that we want to turn to high block, because high block will give us an idea of where most of the retail traders are at risk. Now looking at high block, we can see the delta has increased for the shorts. Currently the delta is 9 billion to the shorts. We switched yesterday from the delta being to the longs over to the shorts, and we've also got a lot of exposure up here with people who had open short positions on the drop. When the delta is at 9 billion, that's not usually where the market maker reverses price. They may be looking to increase that at this point in time. However, at the same time, they do have this liquidity here that they could come for if they wanted to. But the market maker is patient. Even though this liquidity is here, they may continue to drive prices down further to build up that short leverage, get the delta to the 20 billion mark before they actually reverse price. So if we want to look at where we are in the cycle right now, in my opinion, we are in a reset. Just because we've had 3 level drops doesn't mean we can't reset now and have another 3 level drops. All it means is that this formation is complete and we're now in the boardroom. If the move to the downside is over, a W formation will form. If not, we will drop below the boardroom. Now this area here that is marked between 20,150 and 19,880 180 comes from the next candle lower. That candle was marked on yesterday's video on the 15-minute time frame. This candle here has not yet been recovered. So when we look at the current price action on the 15-minute time frame, you can see here that we currently have one attempt at that zone, but we have not actually even entered it at all yet. This is actually looking positive as long as price stays above here. However, beware that this did form in the dead gap zone where there is usually a lot of manipulation. You don't want to be making trade decisions off an entry in the dead gap zone. So Asia session has now just opened on this candle 45 seconds ago at the time of filming this, and this is what we want to watch for moving forward. Is Asia going to hold this range, or is today's high already in? Here's what you need to watch out for today. In the Asia session, you want to wait to see where the high and the low of the day is actually set. At around 2 a.m. New York, we get an extension. We're going to get an extension either to the upside or to the downside. To give you an example, if this was the high and the low of the day by 2 a.m. New York and price has done this all day, you're going to expect an extension that either breaks that high that may continue up, or you could get an extension that breaks the low that will then continue down. If the low breaks into this zone down here and fails to get back above it, it is likely we are going to head down further today and things could get nasty. At this point in time, price is under the 50 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. That is bearish. It is bearish until you get a W formation with a market maker candle that breaks the 50 EMA. So be very, very careful today. Don't assume just because we've had 3 drops that we are now going to go up. We are literally in a reset zone, and a reset is the market maker sizing up their position. Couple that with the short delta only being 9 billion, it is highly likely that they will mark prices lower to build that delta up to the shorts. Unless you see a W formation that holds above this level and breaks the 50 EMA, I don't see upside coming. Let's have a look at the general markets. So here, NASDAQ is not looking good. If NASDAQ continues coming down, that's not going to be great for crypto in general. The Dixie last night did break this line here that we've been looking at for a week now, and on the 4-hour time frame that could be coming back for a retest before it heads up even further. If the Dixie heads up further, the markets are likely to come down. On the 4-hour, the NASDAQ looks like it has an M formation off the 200 EMA. That is incredibly bearish, and its next support level is going to be down here at around 11,320. So if you think you found a W formation on Bitcoin today, come over and have a look at these first. If the Dixie's heading up and the NASDAQ looks like it's still heading down, it's likely that you haven't actually found a W on Bitcoin. All right, let's look at ETH. Now, here's a little hint for you. If you're ever struggling to find your levels on Bitcoin, ETH tends to follow this actually much cleaner. So when we're looking at Ethereum, again, we want to identify the peak formation high or the peak formation low and where the last midweek reversal was. So here it's very obvious that we had a peak formation low down here. We've had 1 hit to the high, 2 hit to the high, 3 hits to the high, stop loss extension with a railroad track triggering the reversal. Very, very simple to identify. Now, where are we? We've got the 1 hit to the low here, 2 hits to the low here, and then this is currently the 3rd hit to the low on the 1-hour time frame. Using the volume also helps to identify it. Very, very high volume spike here on this candle. Also had this red candle here, but this was where the high volume one came here. So you would count this one as drop level 2. This move here was to trigger more orders. Obviously, it came right back into this previous candle here and then rejected with an inverted hammer. And then we had the last high volume candle right here. Now we reset. We don't assume price is going to go up from here. We reset. We watch the board meeting. So let's mark out the board meeting so far on the 15-minute time frame. And we also want to find previous market making candles where price may come back into should we head lower. So looking left, this is the candle we have not yet recovered, which price looks like it's in right now and maybe trying to recover. If it does recover that entire candle, we've got another level here. And then we've got a very big area here. These are the areas to watch initially. If the move ends up being dramatic, however, we could drop as low as back to the 1K ETH area. So now when we go back to have a look at what's going on, we can see that ETH makes the move faster. It always makes the move first, in my opinion, before Bitcoin does. So ETH is already eating into that candle. The let's go back and have a look at what Bitcoin is doing at this point in time. See, Bitcoin hasn't yet even started eating into that candle. So I highly recommend you watch Ethereum if you're trying to learn this method at the same time as watching Bitcoin, because if you're struggling with Bitcoin, probably going to get it easier on ETH. Asia has just opened on this candle, so you definitely need to let price settle, let it mark its high and low of the day, come back at 2 a.m. New York and have a look at where is the extension. Asia is a difficult session to trade because this is where most of the bots are fired. So when you're trading the Asia session, you're trading against bots that don't have emotion, and you're human and you have emotion. So sometimes you can get a direction, sometimes you don't get a direction, and it is quite difficult to pick, which is why most traders will avoid the Asia session. If we get a trend today in the Asia session, just know that it's not going to be a normal move. So in summary, for Ethereum, we're waiting for a full close into the closest market maker candle that we can find. That is price closing below 1132. If that happens, we're looking for the next one down to 1120 and then the next one down to 1100. If price does not break this first one, however, then we want to watch for a W formation that may form during Asia and give us that extension towards the end, or it may even form between the session changeover of Asia into UK. I would only be looking for this W, however, if price holds at the 1132. Now, if you've learned something in this video or you are enjoying this content, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to turn the bell notification to all so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Let's take a look at what we have got going on as far as news events that we need to be aware of. So tonight there's a few things going on. We've got Bank of England Governor Bailey speaks. We've also got Fed Chair Powell speaks. These are usually dramatic market movers. That is at 11 p.m. Melbourne time tonight. Two things happen when we have a dramatic news event. Sometimes you get a pump into the news event and a dump out of. Sometimes price will just go sideways and do absolutely nothing until the news event. And then we will have a dramatic move around the news event. So just be careful. If you want to trade today before this announcement, be careful an hour or two right before it, because there's a higher chance of a fake move before a reversal, whichever way it goes. Even tomorrow, we have the core PCE price index as well. It does look like this could be a fairly dramatic week. If not great news comes out of this, we could be seeing new lows on Bitcoin this week. I would be very careful of that. However, if you're an investor and we do see new lows on Bitcoin this week, it's an opportunity pending your personal situation. Finally, heat maps. Now that Asia has opened, we can use this to see where they might be trying to set the initial high and the low of the day. Immediately, this area up here stands out to me. We can see the 2K orders at 20,600. That's short orders. And then also down here, we have 1.6K and 19,950. So I'm going to mark these zones out. Okay, so this is the current buy and sell zone according to the heat map orders. It does look like price may hold this level, but remembering these are only limit orders, so they can disappear at any time. But at this point in time, it does look like they want to hold this 20,150 area as the low of the day, and they also want to hold that 50 EMA as the sell zone above. So we may range today up until the news event. And again, because that sell zone is there, is another reason why if you happen to identify a W formation and you want to take a long position, it's probably not going to be the best idea to take it off the W. You actually want to see price break this sell zone, break above the 50 EMA, come back to retest it. That's going to show you that these sell orders here are now gone. They got eaten through and price has retested, held above. It wants to go higher. At this point in the market, especially with all these news events, want to take the safer entry rather than the aggressive entry. But don't assume because we've had the 3 drops that we're going to have a rise now. We could easily come up to the 50 and reject back down into this zone as well. Let's do the same thing for Ethereum. Ethereum has some really big orders going on here. Look at this 10K. 10K for ETH is huge at 1157, and then we've got 8.8, we've got 1011 down here at 1130. So we definitely have a price squeeze going on Ethereum. Look how big this sell zone is above price and how big this entire sell zone is below price. This is going to be difficult to mark out on a chart because price is moving dramatically fast and changing dramatically fast, but I'll do my best. I'm just going to try and pick these super high orders so that we can see what that looks like on a normal chart. So this is what we're looking at right now. These are the really high orders. Again, goes to show this is the area that is trying to be defended where that previous wick is. So I'm going to leave it here, guys, so that I can get this video uploaded in time. Watch out for these areas. If this buy zone is broken by the time this video goes live, then you're looking for these areas down below 1100 to begin with. Have the most amazing day. Stay safe out there. Be careful of those news events. If you're unsure, don't take a trade. Just watch, because watching is learning. I will see you tomorrow.